My name is Will Kelsey. I'm a professional XTERRA triathlete. I'm out here on the trails today to talk mountain biking. When it comes to getting a mountain bike, it can be really confusing. There's a ton of different factors to take into consideration. To help make things simple, I've boiled it down to just 4 points that'll help you find the right bike for you. The 4 things that we're going to talk about today are price point, suspension, wheel size, and gear ratio. This is a full suspension, and what that means is it has the suspension fork up front and the suspension in the rear. These bikes are going to be great for making your ride a little bit smoother over those rocks, roots, and bumps. However, they are more expensive and they are a bit heavier. Unless you spend a lot more, then they get really lightweight. This is a hardtail. It has a suspension fork up front, just like the other bike, but it doesn't have anything in the rear. And what that'll do is end up making the bike lighter and less expensive, but it's gonna be a rougher ride. You hear a lot of people talk about 29er versus 27.5. Well, what are they talking about? It's wheel diameter. The one on the right here is a 29-inch wheel diameter. It's larger, so it's gonna roll over things easier, but it's heavier, so it doesn't accelerate quite as fast. The one on the left here is the 27.5 wheel. It's smaller and lighter, so it is more nimble, but it doesn't roll over big objects quite as well. When it comes to price point, you can break it down into 3 levels: beginner, mid-level, and high-end. That beginner goes from about $500 to $1,000. The mid-range is about $1,000 to $3,000, and then the high-end goes up from there. When you look at bikes in the same price range, whether it's a hardtail or a full suspension, you're gonna end up getting a little bit more bang for your buck with the hardtail, because here you're having to pay for the suspension. But over here, the pieces of the bike are going to be a little bit nicer. As you go from entry level to mid-level to high level, the performance, the braking, and the shifting all improve the more you spend. A great way to get comfortable on the bike is to add a dropper post. And what that'll do is drop your saddle down. It's a great way to feel safer while you're going downhill or over big objects. When it comes to gear ratios, you have 2 options, 1x or 2x. And what I'm talking about is the chainring up front. This bike has 1 chainring up front, which means it's more lightweight and less to maintain, but I don't have as many gear options. If you go with a 2x, you have 2 chain rings up front, which gives you lots of gear options, but it is a little bit heavier and there's more maintenance required.